Yo, 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 what is going on, CoD Familia? It is your boy BN, aka Mr. Kingdom Builder, and today we are going to be showing you the top 25 players from the first ever Great Heights event that essentially took place from 9 merged KVK groups, and a lot of kingdoms are involved in this. Essentially what the event is a cross-server power-up event, right? You get 1 point for each point of power that you gain, and we ended up seeing some pretty big numbers, but we did a deep dive where we looked at each of the KVK merged kingdoms for their Great Height events or Great Heights events and pulled data on each of them. We're going to be showing that off to you now. So we got the top 25 players that had the most power gains during that, I think it was a 3-day period. We're going to show you the number 100 bubble positions, right? So for each of these groups, where was the number 100 person, or as we call it, the bubble position at, right? So how many points did that have, meaning that anyone above that would be stronger. And then in order to get the permanent skin from this event, right, where if we go to info, oh wait, hang on. Dang it, I don't think we can show it to you now because it's already over. But you get the top 10 players get a permanent skin as well. For themselves, and we'll show you who the top 10 players are for each of the groups, along with what was the actual minimum power from each of the groups that you had to make in order to get the top 10 skin. So, without further ado, let's show off the goodies. Here we go, Z. Let's switch this uppers, and here we go for the top 25 players. Showing that off for you now, right? So this is now, I want to preface this by saying that, unfortunately, even though the top 10 players are displayed for each of the 9 KVK groups that were running the Great Heights event, some of, I think 1 or 2 of the groups did have some players that were stronger. However, the challenge is that we weren't able to go past the top 10 because it only allowed for us to view the top 10 after the event. So again, there could be a few players, I don't foresee it being more than 5, but there could be a few players that could have made it somewhere between number 14 and number 25 potentially. It's just that those were not able to be included because we couldn't view it beyond after the event ended, and I wasn't able to get on just before the event finished, where we ended up seeing quite a bit of power up that happened in the last 2 to 3 hours of the event being ran for some of the groups. Just want to preface that. Okay, here we go. So here's your top 25 players. You can see the bubble position here at number 25 for what we collected was 24,121,173 points. Right, so that's how much power gain was made for the number 25 player, all the way up to number 1, right, which we got our boy Nephisto here from Kingdom 33 with BXS, right, who had 78,305,760 point gains, right. Second, right, being from 32, BDO's LaGuinness. Just sounds like a great beer. 64,560,010 points on the game. Number 3, we had NKDF. This is, I wasn't able to, see, this is the thing, I wish you could click on the names. Unfortunately, you can't click on the names in Great Heights, right? That's something I would love for them to improve on, or just to make that quality of life adjustment, is allowing for me to click on a name and it takes me to the profile so I could copy the special characters or just the player name in general. So this one was a special character one, but they had 48.8 million point gains. Number 4, MF Dicta Tim, 47.5 million from Kingdom 43 on the game. Number 5, right, another person from 32. You can see a lot from 32, right? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. Yeah, so 8. There you go. 8. I mean, that's the most. 8 out of 25, most coming from Kingdom 32 here on the amount that we ended up seeing within the top 25. But yeah, again, this kind of shows, you can see 24, right, really kind of keeps it close, I'd say, until about here. So from 25 to 16, right, and then you see Ted Kiora, and then next you got BXS H-Made, right, who does a little jump close from 15 to 14. Then you see the next big jump, 29 to 33 mil. Small jump, kind of medium, another biggish size medium jump there, kind of small medium jump. And then you see the 40 to 43. It stays close, probably up to about 40. Well, once you get 43 to probably 46, right? But then you start seeing really the big gains right there from 1 and 2, right, beyond 3. So this kind of sums up your top 25. Now let's look at the bubble positions that we have here. So these are the points. And again, I want to point this out. I took this data within a 2 to 3 hour window, or sorry, within a 1 hour window, but from 2 to 3 hours before the event ended, to be specific there, where we scrolled all the way to the bottom and we looked at what the point gains were for the number 100 player from each of these 9 groups. Right, and so you could see, and we even, I don't know if I ordered it from top down. If not, we can do that right now. We'll go C, Z, bam, here we go. So again, not too big of an adjustment, but you can see the range here is about 1.2 mil, where we have 2.58 mil at the top from S2-1, S2-2, and the bottom SSS1-3738, which is 1.32 million. There for their number 100. However, I think for me, the interesting part is really here once you kind of look at SSS1-2930 and then 31-32, where you're seeing their numbers are a little closer to S2-3 and S2-4, being these are S1 plus kingdoms compared to S2 kingdoms, right? So something that I just thought kind of showed that, well, the S1 plus kingdoms are technically, these players are in their second season unofficially, and then you have the S2 groups that are in their third season unofficially, right? And then let's get to the number 10 perm skin, right? So what was the power from each of the groups that you had to make, or the amount of points you had to accumulate to break into each of those groups' top 10, right? So you could have those 90 players that were able to win skins. So here we go. This is ordered top down, and you can see the range is pretty wide, where again, S2-1 to S2-2, you had to get 30. This was, bear in mind, this was the number 10 ranked player. Oopsies, why does that say 100? There we go. People are like, what are you doing, boss? So 33.6 mil was the amount of points you had to get in order to break the top 10, right? To basically beat the number 10 person, right? Or to get ahead of the number 10 person. S2-3-4, you had to have 22.7 mil, right? 21.88 mil, 21.48 mil, right? So these are really close. Then you have number 5 and 6 from SSS1-38, which technically was 3738, but when I went back to look today on that post 24-hour display, it only showed 38 and not 37, so it's really weird. And then you have S2-11-12, right? They're within, 300,000 of each other. And then you have number 7 through 9, which is somewhat pretty close, right? You got about a 1.5 mil difference here. So, again, a little bit closer there. But if you're looking at double, right, I mean, you're basically, number 1 is a little bit more than double number 9, right? But it just kind of goes to show you, even if you're looking at some of the other S2 groups, right, beyond 1, right, if you're looking at here, number 6, number 3, and number 2, right, again, these ones, I mean, you could just see S2-1, S2-2, how much more power you really needed there, right? So, again, if you're here S2-54, 55, SSS1-2930, 3132, right, again, you were able to get that permanent skin for, almost half, if not a little less than half, right, if you're comparing number 9 to 1. Now, we're going to show you off the groups here for each of the top 10 players. Got to give everyone some love. So I'm just going to go through this. I'm going to give it about 2 or 3 seconds. That's long enough for people to kind of get their screenshots or to see, right? We'll kind of go through this, and you can see where some of the groups are from, right? We took screenshots from each of the 9 KVK kingdoms, so you can kind of see how they're placed, how it looks. Again, along with what home kingdoms they're from, I should say, along with the alliance that they're in, right? Individual points, you can still see some more points too as well that are below some of our top 25 players that they ended up getting. So again, right, just kind of doing this, wanted to show some love out there for some other players. I think that's probably going to do it, right? There's not really a lot more. I don't know how often I'll do this. It just depends really on if there's enough groups that are going to be doing great heights. Like if there's enough great heights that are going on at the same time, so it might not just be one KVK group or two. Oh gosh, I was trying to save that to the best of my ability. Cold water, they say, does help, and of course sleep. 3 kids got to make 2. All right. So if we end up getting, like I said, kind of 2 or more groups, that's kind of what I'll be looking for to do something like this, just so we can kind of get enough data. With that in mind, I'd love to know what your guys' thoughts are on this, right? Are you somewhat shocked at the point differentials here in order to break into the top 10 for that permanent skin? Do you not really care about the permanent skin? Or, yes, you want the permanent skin. Like, that is what your life is all about up to this moment. Tell me. Let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, I'll be excited to read. With that in mind, that's going to do it for me. As always, until next time, I will catch you later.